Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about good credit. I'm going to talk about what how lives are changed simply because the focus was put on doing the work of getting good credit rather than so much being so worried about what the hell is being done. If work is being done, work gets results. No one can guarantee in anything that you do in life. It doesn't matter if you go to school, go to college to get a job, start working at a corporation, credit repair, whatever you're trying to do, lose weight, whatever you're trying to do. No one can guarantee the result that is the day that the result is going to show for you. And the reason why is because we all have something internally that I really became aware of probably about 7-8 years ago, is that people buy stuff all the time, but they don't buy in. You can pay your money, that's access. Whatever you pay your money, you get into school, you pay your money, you start working, having a company, work on your credit. But what happens with a lot of people is that they don't buy in fully. And what I mean by not buying in fully is they start to get negative about what they think is going to happen. Let me tell you a couple of stories. I was just at a business breakfast for the Center for Entrepreneurship. I'm going to be one of the speakers for the youth in our community here in Milwaukee. I'm going to talk to them about business disruption, how one of my other companies was disrupted by the internet. And I'm going to talk to them about AI, how AI is becoming part of our lives, even though we don't know. Like most people are afraid of AI in a sense, but we invite AI. The reason why we invite AI is because we want stuff faster. So consciously, you might be pushing AI away, but subconsciously, you want to get all of the stuff that you want in your life. I include myself, we want it faster. And I gave an example when I was speaking about Amazon. Like Amazon has all of the same old stuff that everybody else got. But what does Amazon do? They get it to you faster. And some of you may not understand when I say that. You like, well, what do you mean faster? In a truck or whatever? No, they concentrate on speed. And I predict in the future, so you can mark this video, in the future, they will drop that product in your backyard when the restrictions for airspace get relaxed. That's going to happen. We've seen where they talked about it before, but it's going to happen. A drone will drop that stuff instantly. That's why they put the distribution centers all, within arm's length of most communities, because they want to be able to get the product to people faster. But let's talk about credit. The story I want to talk about is, and I haven't talked about it on this channel, but I talked about it on my business channel, Making Money with Stephen A. Williams, where I actually talked about we sold our retail business. I have a retail store that we started with our youngest daughter, and she had an idea for a business, and my wife and I supported it. It costed $15,000 to start that business. Now, when we talk about positioning, is that because of the work that my wife and I did in the 90s to get ourselves out of debt and to fix our credit, when our daughter approached us, I think it was somewhere around 2008 or 2010, somewhere around that period of time. I think it was 2010. When she approached us in 2010, we were in a position to be able to invest the money to start the business, because we wanted to show her support. Like you want to support your children, because you feel like you want to get them a leg up, and that's what we were doing. I didn't know that it was going to blow up to be what it blew up to be for that business. To, number one, be able to be around my youngest daughter a lot more. because I like being around my children, and then the being able to help and give a safe place for all of the children in our community where they could come there, play their card games. They wasn't on tablets, and not to say that all that stuff is bad, but they were actually talking with each other. And some of the kids, their parents would tell us, they would not open up when they would be in school and stuff, but when they came here, they felt like they could open up. And they like they were people that they felt comfortable with. And it's been a wide spectrum, and we've seen people who came to the store as kids now got families, and they were bringing kids to the store. So, but this is the part that I want you to pay attention to. We sold the store to a young couple in probably their late 20s. And this is where it comes down to about generational wealth, and it comes down to about having good credit. So I'm going to speak on both of those. So we sold the store for a huge amount of money. Me and my wife, son-in-law and daughter, all 4 grandchildren. Now imagine 4 grandchildren, 6, 4, 2, and 1, having trust funds put up for them to sit there, and we have a plan of managing it for our grandkids, and all of it is pooled together. Because at first I wasn't even thinking right. I was like, well, why don't we do individual accounts? Because that's what my granny, I say granny, that's what my granny Oleta Phillips did when she sold her properties to downtown Dallas, is that she just all were individual. But my wife's like, no, why don't we just put it all together for the children? And as they get to age of 26, I think it was age of 25, that quarter, whatever it done grew up to be, that quarter would come out, and the other 3 quarters would stay and continue to grow. And then when the other one gets 25, same thing. And I was like, that's a damn good plan. So that's generational wealth. To be able to have something that, number one, grew where it was not just about the money, it was about being around my family, educating my grandsons. Even though they're young, they learned about that it was business. Like, we had events at that store, and they learned that preparation, dealing with people. And I was the one that would take them around while my son-in-law, my daughter, and my wife, they were, running the events and everything with the employees. But I was, talking to my grandsons, and I tell them, hey, really the biggest thing that I was able to get them to understand about business was that it comes from the mind first. I was like, everything you see here comes from someone's mind. These products, these cards that y'all like playing with, these plushies that y'all like having, that comes from someone's mind, and then it materializes. And then now I'm at the next level, which I actually started yesterday with my grandkids, was that it starts in the mind, and the next step, when you know that it starts in the mind, is that you understand that you have to think first before you react. So this is the next lesson that I'm teaching them, because I want them to understand that you have to be confident, and you have to understand that sometimes people can do things to get a reaction from you. Enough on that, but that's the generational wealth part. To be able to do that for ourselves, our family, and for what's going to be building for our grandkids, just with that, not counting any other stuff that we've done for them. Now, the new owners of the store. Now, this is something that happened. They paid us in 2 different huge payments, and they came to us yesterday or day before yesterday, and they did not have the right amount. Like, they were some calculation, or I don't know. That's whatever that was, but they were short $14,000. And we said, well, we won't transfer everything. There was a few last things that we had to transfer, and we wasn't going to do it until we got that final amount. Now, this is where it comes down to about good credit, is that their credit was strong enough to where they were able to say, okay, we'll be back. They came back a couple of days later with the remaining amount of money. Credit is so important. Like, we talk about the work that we do, the disputing, the furnishers and all that. That's the work. But what about the transformation? Because their credit is strong, because they have stuff in order, they just really set their family up for success by taking over a business that's very successful, already had a following. It's like turnkey. And they're able to step in and take it to the next level for themselves. But if your credit is screwed up, you don't have those opportunities. And so many people, what I see is they get so transfixed on the bad score and all of the stuff that has to be done, rather than let's just get to work. Let's just get to work. If you stop worrying so much about how stuff has to be done and just get with someone that's going to get the job done, that's going to show you that work is being done and that there's going to be progress. It could be steady progress. Sometimes it could be fast progress. But the big thing is that you understand that if you are sitting there with bad credit, it's going to hit you one day that you're going to need it. And if you are not prepared, you're going to miss out on opportunity. Those opportunities can change you and your family, the direction of your life financially. And when your finances are right, a whole bunch of other stuff goes right for you and your family. I'm here to tell you, if you care about generational wealth for what you build for yourself and what you build for your children, get your credit right. If you care about your grandchildren, what you're going to leave your family, not leaving them in debt, get your credit right. Because don't be fooled by people who got talk radio shows and doing all these types of things, and they say that your credit is not important. They're not telling you the truth. I mean, it's their opinion on it. But if you think about it, we live in a credit society. And just think, back to the example of the couple who bought the business. Getting that additional funds and then having a business that's going to bring them income. One of my good friends was saying, and that brings up another story too, is he's in this business here. He's in Boost Mobile. They had 130 Boost Mobile stores all across our state, and then some in Michigan, Illinois. And he was saying that the way that cell phone business is going, he's going to be getting out of cell phone business soon. And he was asking me, is there a business that I know of that he can buy? And I said, well, what type of business you looking for? He was like, I'm looking for like a grocery store, a corner store. And I was like, you want that type of business? He was like, yeah. And I said, well, what is your maximum that you would pay? Because, I do know a lot of people who have stores. They might want to sell. And he was like, it doesn't matter because my credit is good. It doesn't matter. And then he went into, Steve, I use my credit to buy me income. I use my credit to buy me income. So think about it this way. You say you get a $200,000 loan so you can buy a business, and that business is already running. And that business brings you $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month. So you use your credit to get a loan to buy you income. One of my consulting, he's done advertising with me. I've done some consulting for him and his companies, and some of you may even know about them. JJ Fish, they're all over the place now. I think they're in a lot of different states. JJ Fish, Omar, I know personally. And and he's in a whole bunch of businesses now. And one of the things that he talks about when I in our conversations when I've spoke with him is he talked about it using credit to buy income. Like every business owner should look at using their credit to buy income. So even for business owners who own a business right now and they have bad credit, if they got their credit in order, they would be able to utilize credit to actually bring them revenue and not even have to worry about using their own money. I do that myself in my businesses. When it's hard for people to even understand that if you have excellent credit and you utilize it the right way, that you will not even use your own personal money to bring you money to live on every month. And it's like a strange concept to people because they're thinking that they got to come up with all of this money and then dump it all into the business, and then hopefully that it'll work for them. And that, it's logic behind that. I mean, you gotta, no matter if you use your money or you use the credit money from you having good credit to get a loan for the business, you're still going to have to make sure that the business runs and that you're generating income. But the thing that I see happen the most for people, and it doesn't matter if they're trying to invest, if they're trying to start a business, is that if their credit is not in order, they end up being underfunded. So now let's talk about how even if you don't have a business, and your credit is bad, how you are underfunding your own success in life. If you have bad credit, and you've heard me say this before, people with bad credit pay more for the same things that people with good credit pay less for. So if you have a car and the payment is $500 a month and you have bad credit, so you're paying $500 a month, when with good credit you could pay half of that. With good credit you would qualify for other options for financing with good credit. So that's right there. That would be $250 cash in your pocket that you wouldn't have to spend solely because you have bad credit. Now, that's just with a car. Let's talk about a house. Rents are going up. If you don't own a home, rents are going up. You're paying 100% interest if you're renting. 100%. Like people were worried about 7-8% interest going to buy a house. If you're renting from someone, you're paying 100% interest. You're not building any equity in the property. You're not. You see the situation that you're under. Like whatever the landlord chooses to do, that's where you're going to be at. But you'll hear people try to discourage you from getting a home. Discourage you because they'll say the taxes are too high. They'll say the insurance, all of this stuff. But these are people who don't want you to be successful because they want you to focus on all of the bad things that could potentially happen. But if you go to the foundation of everything, which is having good credit, having your debt under control, you will manage your way through that and you will be able to keep that property. And no matter what ups and downs, you will be able to, that property is going to be money for you. I had someone give me this example one time. They were like, well, Steve, what if I pay on the house all of these years and I can only sell it for what I bought it for? And I said, well, how much money do you have in the bank right now? Because you done been around a lot of years. I think he was like 55, 56 years old when I had this conversation where I said, how much do you have the same amount of money that you have that you paid for your house? Do you have the same amount of money in the bank? And he said no. So I said that even worst case scenario, if you paid off your house and you sold it, even if you sold it for 25% less, which it won't happen, you're going to always be able to sell it for more. I mean, it's rare. It's rare. And I said, you would be able to at least have that much money, and I bet you would be happy with that. And he said, yes, I never looked at it that way. But it all comes down from the foundation of having good credit. What about insurance? Insurance rates, people say insurance rates are sky high right now. Well, the number one risk factor that insurance companies look at right now, health, depending on what type of insurance you get, health, and they also look at your credit. Because if they look at your credit, they know how you're leading your life. When people look in, like my wife gives this example of, like, you can see how a person lives their life by looking inside of their car. Now, a car can look nice from the outside, but you look inside and you look at the floorboards, and that's the things that's going on in their life, because they don't even have time to clean that up. Also, inside of their house, you're like, these houses, people's houses look very nice on the outside, but when you go in, it's just a mess. And that's because their life is in a mess. Their life is actually in a mess. And the way that insurance companies, the way that lenders, the way that credit card companies, the way that they can look in at our lives is they look at our credit. And they're like, this, if they don't know you, let's just look at it this way. If they don't know you, how can they get a sense of how you are living your life? They look at your credit reports. And if you have too much debt, but you're paying your bills, they're like, okay, they're stretching. We can make a decision on that. But they're paying their bills. They're going to qualify at a certain level. But then on the other side, the other end, credit is bad scores, not paying anything, late payments, all of that stuff. How would you look at yourself right now with your credit? Because if you're honest with yourself, that's how companies who do lending is going to look at you. And it could be right or wrong. You could be going through some things, all of that type of stuff. But this is how they're going to look at you. So back to that couple. Because their credit was good, it took them one day to get the remaining funds. And then now they have a chance to set themselves up for, number one, they just got an income. The store generates income every week. And then if they have children, it could be a repeat of what we did. That's what inspired me to make this video. And then at the Center for Entrepreneurship, I'm going to have those, when I do those speaking events, I'm going to start to record them, because the number one thing that there was bankers in the room. I didn't really see too many people who own companies, but they all worked for different organizations and banks and investment companies. And guess what? The number one thing that they talked about, getting people in order. It was one of the directors of the organization.
Returning visitor.
Is that people need to get the foundation of credit and debt under their belt before they even move forward in the business. When they counseled people, and I guess they have like this test or like a little questionnaire where they try to see where people are at, and they even have programs for older individuals, and they said the number one thing is credit and debt, credit, debt, credit and debt. And when I was asked about it, I was like, yeah, the problem is that people focus, when they know they got bad credit, they focus too hard on how they think it has to be fixed. So for a problem that they have, they focus too hard on how they think it needs to be fixed, either if they try to do it themselves or if they hire someone to do it. It would be like going to the doctor and your arm is broken and you tell the doctor, you need to fix it this way. Even though you're the one with the problem, you're the one seeking help, but you tell people how to fix it. And that's probably the number one reason why people end up living with bad credit, is because they don't understand how that picture is going to look in the future. They just keep latching on to what they're comfortable with, and they get so comfortable with living with bad credit that it's just unbelievable. Like they start to believe and hear these people out there and start to internalize it like credit doesn't matter. But they see all of these companies and people and individuals using credit to build their lives, to build income, to be able to save money. If they're not building a business, just to be able to save money. Like, just think about it. Have good credit, go back, refinance everything you got, you put money right back in your pocket. You invest in getting your credit repaired. No matter how long it takes. No, you're going to live a long life. So no matter how long it takes. Mr. Kelly, Douglas Kelly, and I'm going to bring him on to speak to my credit subscribers here on the Credit Repair Shop and on my Make Your Money channel. Told me it took him 2 years. He got divorced, took him 2 years to get his credit in order. Guess how long ago it's been? It's been like 13, 14 years since he got divorced. So that's what I'm saying. People be thinking that like they got to get it like McDonald's tomorrow, when tomorrow, the next day, all these months, years is going to still happen. So what are you going to do at that time? What are you going to do with the time that you have right now with your credit? Are you ready to transform your life to be able to start moving in the right direction and doing what it takes? Because you can buy in now to start working on your credit, but are you going to buy in yourself? Like, are you going to start to do the things to be a person who thinks at a level of a person who can have good credit? Do you think you even deserve to have good credit, or do you think you deserve to just stay where you're at right now? If you believe that you deserve to have good credit, you can visit my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see what makes us different. We handle credit repair that way. We can help you repair your credit and get out of debt. If you need your credit reports and scores, just so you can know where you're at, go to the website, your3scores.com, to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, because you can stop debt collectors early with these. Statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Use the one that's appropriate for your situation. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.